Moreover, we can have a better understanding, or we can fit into an abstract ideas that the speakers are talking about. Just like this picture, the topic is about the structure of the DNA. But for normal people who don't have this accomplished knowledge, they will be confused about what is that talking about. It's all great to me. But if we have the pictures here, we can show the part we are talking about. Probably we are talking about the front of the DNA. And next, we move on to the next part of the DNA. And we can have a realistic feelings. And of course, with the help of these applications, also it provides us with a more realistic feelings, and we can build certain kinds of environments for our audience to enjoy. Probably you can shift the backgrounds into probably some scenes in cities, tourist attractions, and of course a lot of things. And also, the next is about video games. Of course, in video games, usually people are trying to usually we have played games like the Wii, and we control the subjects on the screen by the controllers, and also the subjects will do the moves according to our gestures. And there's still a question that the environment is separate from us, so we can't really get into the situations and feel the real feelings. So here through the surroundings projections, the game environment will be presented in front of us. Now it gives us our interactive elements and some interactive feelings for the audience or the players. Just like this games, this is a movie about the movie Her, and the players play again about walking. So if the players are sent some instructions like walking, then the subjects will do walking as his command. And of course, it can build a certain kind of interactive relationship between the visual subjects and the real human in the reality. Okay. And next, the final, I'll talk about the space projections. And basically, the space projections can be categorized. Can be divided into three parts. And the first is about the crime record. And we know when a police solves a case, it will record a lot of files or pictures, images in the form of documents. But here, with the space projections, we can store this kind of information in the form of holography. And for some newcomers in the police office, they might be unfamiliar with some cases probably happen regularly. And with this holographic informations and files, they can get into the situations quickly. And so that they can get into their works well and become familiar with some cases. And also, the second is about the interior design of a house. And we know for some home buyers and some home sellers, to discuss about the designs of the house is very difficult, especially for some home sellers, because they can't show old house to the same person at the same time. But this technology provides us the opportunity to make this process more easier, because the pictures, it not only is tri-dimensional, it also can be scrolled, so you can see the same pictures from different angles, so that the home buyers won't be confused about what the home sellers are talking about when they are discussing the interior design. And also they can control the size to see the parts you want to see, or to see the space arrangements. And the next part is about the architecture evaluation. We know for professional architects, you also have to evaluate and assess the structures of huge buildings. But basically speaking, you can't go into every room's and see all the things, and because they're gonna to spend whole days for doing this. And there is a great way to symbolize the process. It's use the space projections. They can control the size of the whole building, and also they can see some structure inside the buildings through the control of the size. And of course, you can have a panorama of the whole environments inside each rooms, and see some small things that usually we might ignore in reality. And what I mentioned is all about the applications and the settings.
So simply put, the setting projection could be divided into two major applications. The first one being surrounding, and the second being space. The major difference between these two is that surrounding is on a smaller scale, while space is on a quite bigger scale. And normally space projection fills up the entire room, whereas surrounding projection does not. It only takes up part of the room. And regarding the surrounding projection, the example given here was at a science fair. Maybe the speaker wants to project a sample of the DNA. This way the audience or the people that's attending this fair can get a better picture of what they're talking about. So that information is transferred directly into them through visual aids. And so this projection can help these fair goers become more involved, so that they feel more relevant when they hear these information. And then the second part is space projection, which Chris mentioned, crime scene investigation. So basically, we can use light to record the settings of the entire room, and then we can place it into like a blank room. This way, the space is projected directly into the blank room, so that you can see how the whole entire room was before somebody cleaned it up. This way, you can preserve the wholeness of the crime scene. And then about how interior design. Interior design basically probably will also be placed in the room that the agent is trying to sell. This way I'll show you that how everything falls into place when you have these furniture and how it will look like after it is furnished. So I'll give these customers a better understanding of how the space will look like once they're done with purchasing these furniture and when you're done furnishing them. So, to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, hologram can be put to application in 4 different ways. The first one being human projection that Joanna discussed. Basically, you can use it for teaching purposes, whereas teachers are maybe in different places, but could be also in your classroom at the same time. So this technology basically breaks the limitation of time and space. So maybe I am at, let's just say, Taida, the school next to us, and I want to, because NTUST has a very good teacher that teaches technology, English, so I want to listen to her class, but I want to stay at my school. So then I can actually have this device that can capture the images in her classroom and then places it into the other classroom. Just so I can see what she's doing, and also I can have a better a feeling of attentiveness. This way I'll be more focused on the topic that she's focusing on. And the next one is about object projection. And it's basically objects that are not moving. So the example was for someone who had a brain tumor. The doctor can scan through the brain and then